We are live!
Don't say fuck or bugger.
Just before we get started, Jose, last week gave us a super chat and he said he was what did he say, Spanish? He's Spanish living in Belgium.
Yep.
So we forgot to add him to the board. So I think we're going to go with the Belgium one for that, Jose. So you're going to get bang in there. Jose, whatever it is. Hey, Aaron, good man. You comment all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, and sorry that we missed you last week.
We've got a few emails we're going to have to get around. We've got a massive list of emails that we're working our way through. There's hundreds.
Yeah, we've got lots, so we're going to answer a couple right off the bat. So if you're commenting right now, hi, but don't ask us any questions that you need answers to
because we're going to try and get a few through these
emails first. So save your questions for after these.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to read them out. Dear Coach Stephen and Coach Rab, a bit of funniness to start with. There was a question on chat that kept coming up from a viewer, not me, and you kept missing it. I think it was a good question that you may wish to do a video on. The question was, if you want to have 15 minutes on a particular day to do exercise, what exercises would you recommend and put into those 15 minutes? Crack on, Jeff.
Well, Jeff, there's different things you can do. 15 minutes. I mean, a lot of our workouts or workouts that we give you, you could probably get done in 15 minutes. Like that shoulder boulder that we released last Friday would be ideal, actually. Me personally, I would go for something high reps and just go for an absolute pump. 15 minutes, you're looking at probably one muscle group.
Yeah, I guess it depends on, do you have 15 minutes every day, or is it just like a one-off, and what type of workout are you looking for? If it's just you want to get in, you want to work hard and you want to get out again, then we're big fans of kettlebells. So get a kettlebell of your choosing and just start swinging it. If you've got a good technique with a kettlebell swing, you can actually get an amazing workout just from doing one set of, say, 75 swings, which is pretty brutal. And it doesn't even take 15 minutes. So you could do that. You could move on to do some high intensity metabolic conditioning, so something like high volume burpees or squat thrusts would be a good shout. Anything that's going to get your heart rate up and your muscles pumped very, very quickly.
So yeah, Jeff. Now, just in the meantime, Susan James just donated $20.
Thank you, Susan. Well, actually, Susan.
Yeah, so for that, Susan, we've got an email here from you, which is on our list for tonight. So we're going to do it right now.
Yeah. I actually thought your name was James, and you emailed me to correct me. So thanks.
I know. I laughed actually because when I saw your reply, Susan, I had actually seen the email and I'd seen the original email that we sent out that did clearly say, "Hi Susan, blah, things didn't go as planned." You just replied
to James. Hi James.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Sorry, Susan. So let's find Susan's email. It is here somewhere, right?
Yeah, we've definitely had it on here. We've planned to do
I think it was this one here.
Yeah.
Stephen and Rab, how does one maintain motivation?
I think that was your question, Susan.
If it wasn't, then send us a wee message and correct us, but I think this is your one. I find that I'm all gung-ho in the beginning of a new programme, only to get disillusioned shortly thereafter. Please help, I need to lose a little bit of weight. Thank you both. Susan, I think. Hopefully it is.
Well, we were discussing this just before we came on the feed, weren't we?
Yeah. So motivation is one of those things that, if you think about a typical boot camp, so a boot camp is you've got the sort of drill sergeant instructor shouting and bawling at you and giving you that motivation, and some people really need that. Now that's one form of motivation, but it's an external motivation. Okay. Now other people think that, okay, if I'm good all week, then I can have a takeaway at the end of the week. Okay, that's my motivation. Or maybe you're going on holiday. You want to look good. Okay, there's lots of different forms of motivation. Some are extrinsic and some are intrinsic. Now, the experts will tell you that it's much more powerful to have an intrinsic motivator. Okay, so those drill sergeants, they're good for the very short term. But unless you've got a drill sergeant living with you and constantly screaming at you, which actually sounds shit, then it's not going to be any good. So you really need to kind of delve deep into your psyche and understand what is making you start in the first place, and write all this stuff down. It's hard to give you specific advice without actually speaking to you, but ask yourself why you're starting in the first place. Write it down, and then picture yourself exactly where you're going to be in, say, 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months. And this will then help sort of visualise it in your mind to help keeping you moving forward. And
then once you've got your reasons for doing so, it's also very good for motivation, is if you keep setting goals, particularly attainable goals. You have your long-term goal, medium goal, short-term goal. And every time you hit them, the little milestones, they help keep you going. It reminds you why you're doing it, you're getting there, you're making progress. If you don't set these goals, then you've got this dream that you remember why you're doing it, but you don't feel like you're getting any closer to it. So, set a SMART goal.
Yeah, and we actually did a Mindset Monday on something similar. We said, aim forwards, but measure backwards. So constantly set these little mini goals, but the biggest motivator is progress. When you see you've made progress, you feel good about it. So constantly set goals, but if you're always just setting goals, you're always sort of looking in the future, which is good because you want to see where you're going. But every now and again, like if you're on a hill walk, you constantly got uphill, you're trying to get to the summit, and you're tired, and you're just like, how much longer? You can't really see the top yet, but you're going to keep trudging on. Every now and again, you've got to turn around and just enjoy the view. Look to see where you've come from, and that itself is like a huge motivator. So when you're on your journey, set these little mini goals, and every time you've achieved one, just look back to where you've come from, and that will just help you moving forward. So hopefully that answers your question, Susan.
Now, we wanted to get through the first 3, and then we'll take some questions from you guys as well. So again, like I say, we've got tons of emails here. We're doing our best to answer everybody.
Okay, this one's from Dan. Do you want to read that one out?
Dan had a couple of questions that were too long for YouTube for the Q&A session on Thursday. So you're going to be holding them around the same time every week. If so, what would it be? US time? Did you work out? Well, it depends where you are.
It depends where in the US, because you've got a few different time zones. But generally, Eastern time is 5 hours behind us, so then you can work it out from there.
Yeah. And finally, I'm part of the LGBT community, although I don't feel sexuality should be categorised. I was just curious, are you ever offended with the comments you get by other guys? I know some can be blunt, and I do best to show restraint with the compliments, but you guys are both very attractive, so it's not easy, especially when you joke about the possibility of semen being We're never offended by any comments, to be honest.
No.
Some of them are a bit wild and out there, and you just go, what the
some of them are completely like, what the fuck is this person talking about?
Yeah.
But most of them are just like nice comments and never offended.
There's one comment, now it's not a what the fuck comment, the person says it really nice, we just don't understand it, but the comment about the train.
Yeah. If you know what this means, please let us know.
The person's, I get the impression they're giving us a compliment.
Yeah, they've said it twice though.
Yeah,
and I called them out on the first time. This was on Instagram.
Right.
And it said, the comment was, why was it something like, why must I be born a train?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, what? So I actually I replied to say, what do you mean? I'm not too sure what you mean, buddy. And he didn't get back to me, but then he replied again to another picture and said exactly the same thing.
So if anybody knows what that means, we really don't know. We googled it and we can't get nothing.
What does it mean to be a train?
And why does he wish, well,
why must,
I think he was born a train.
Yeah, no, why must I be born a train? So I think he was born a train, but he didn't want to be.
Right.
By the sound of the message, I'm not sure.
Bobby Graham's just commenting saying, I think they meant tran. Possibly? No, it's definitely train.
It's been twice and it's always been train.
Yeah. Maybe he forgot the ER, trainer.
Trainer.
maybe. Now, last week's live Q&A, we actually smashed a milestone. The donations were amazing and we filled in our map. Well, certainly most of it. We've still not got the pins sorted yet. We actually, our record now is $551.
That's incredible.
I mean,
absolutely incredible.
Don't get me wrong, we were up late, we were celebrating.
Yeah, and if you joined us last week, then
it got a bit funny at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big celebration for us because our coaching program had just finished, so we're having a bit of a drink with them over Skype or Google Hangout, and it was just an awesome night, right? And yeah, at the end of the night got a bit out of hand.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and hope you guys enjoyed it as well.
Yeah. So our record, we're not trying to smash that tonight, don't worry, but the record 551, which was, everyone was so generous, we really appreciated it. It wasn't until the next day, because at the time they're flashing up all the nice donations using Super Chat, and you lose track of the amount. You didn't even, it just became fun filling in here and the lack of geography skills that you have. And actually, Joe Suarez, is it Suarez?
Yeah.
I mean, he's very kind. He sent We haven't actually looked out yet, Joe. Well, we appreciate you sending the email. He said there was something to do with the colour scheme, or there was a map that with the states of America that were all different colour, and it's easier to remember or something.
So Joe's actually qualified in geography, and he uses this for his kids, and it was really good. And I actually said I was going to print it off, and I didn't. So we're going to be stuck tonight again.
Decompose 3 says, what would you do if you were drunk and some nice guy starts touching you in a bed? How would you react? I don't think I'd find myself in bed unless it was a mate. I've shared a bed with a mate before. If he started touching me, I would just say, relax yourself and go to sleep, buddy. You know, just simple as that. I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. But this goes either way. You know, if someone came on to you and you were not wanting their advances, you just be quite clear about it. Just say, no, it's not for me, whether male, female, whatever. If they persist and do that, then that's bordering on breaking a few laws there, and therefore you can get a bit more serious. So it's all about.
It's the same question that you'd ask anybody, whether it be male, female, with a male or female making the advances. You know, if it was a female in a bed and a guy was touching them inappropriately, then that's sexual assault.
Yeah.
However, because we're sort of big guys, we can look after ourselves. It's just a case of a friendly reminder that maybe they shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. Maybe they got the wrong impression and you were like, oh, stay at my house, buddy, I've got a spare room, whatever, everyone's bunking up. And maybe just got the wrong impression. See, you always try to sort of go down the route of kindness, but I would like to think that someone wouldn't just start touching me up, and if they did, I would just say, no. Not here. Someone was asking what did the donations go to, I just saw it fly up. What do donations go to, Rob Sutherland? So we've got our plan, we're going to do a tour of America, maybe even South America if we get enough. But anyway, the donations are, generally if someone gives a donation using Super Chat, we ask you to tell us where you're from, and we're adding it to our board because we've not planned the actual tour yet, but it's looking like we're going to be definitely going near Florida,
New York.
The places where more of our subscribers are from, that's where we're going to go, basically. So
that's what it's for. It's donating towards our US tour.
Ron Grant, that's a good question. Ron Grant said, when is the best time of year to visit Scotland?
Ooh, that is. Generally speaking, the typical summer months are usually quite wet. It's usually just before and just after summer that we get the best weather. So it's usually sort of April coming into May, and then September is usually really good.
Depends what you're planning to do when you're here, I mean, one of the endearing things about Scotland is the wet weather. So you go visit a castle and there's drizzling rain, you just get a real feel for the climate. So come as and when.
Kathy says, the best time to visit Philadelphia?
Anytime. We're going to take you up on that.
We're on our way, Kathy. We're on our way. Do you guys know Annie Lennox? No.
Bring your rain, mate. Thunder buddy. Would you guys arm wrestle? James, actually arm wrestling's bad for the tendons. I've made that mistake in the past. A couple of my mates are strongmen, and you get a few drinks, you're like, oh, I'll have an arm wrestle, And the actual worst thing, see if they're much stronger than you, that's fine because they beat you and it's done. See if you're about the same strength, you end up hurting for days because it's a stalemate tension going, and then eventually one of you will win, which is fine. But the next day, man, it's sore.
I've actually watched supposedly professional arm wrestlers, and the winner is constantly hanging off them, like using full body weight, and they're like that down here, using your full body weight to pull an arm down. Like, that's not arm wrestling. Surely you've got to kind of maintain an upright body position and kind of coming over. The whole sport's weird.
Oh, David LP, you guys sound like the original James Bond. Sean Connery, the only James Bond. That's actually not fair. I've liked quite a few Bonds. Who's your favourite Bonds?
I like Daniel Craig.
Yeah, he brings a different thing to it. I don't find him suave enough though.
He's a bit more rough. That's what I think I liked about him. He's just a bit more sort of. I think he's more believable as a Bond, because if you look at typical Pierce Brosnan, for instance, I just thought he was a wee bit too proper. I didn't. No,
just a bit too kind of clean cut.
Whereas you think James Bond is Secret Service, he's obviously gone through a history of military, special forces, and basically building up to that level of, so he can look after himself in the field. He can do, and then he's actually learned all these different skills. And for me, Daniel Craig and Sean Connery was good as well. But for me, Daniel Craig was just a bit more rough. Although typically James Bond should be tall, dark, and handsome, right? Whereas Daniel Craig's a bit more dirty blonde, like some.
But the thing is, what Daniel Craig had to address was, since the likes of the Bourne movies, the Bourne Ultimatums, they all have that fast fighting style and whatever. And I remember there's a line in the earlier James Bonds that Q says to, I think Connery's the Bond in it, he says, never let them see you bleed. So a lot of the Bond movies he never really bleeds until the new ones, and they had to bring James Bond into the 21st century, didn't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, it's the way that Bond has to be. But next James Bond, I really hope it's Idris Elba.
Yeah, there's talk of it being.
Yeah, I think that guy's fantastic. He's got the suaveness or something. He's got the charm. Yeah, he's a big enough guy. I just think he'd make a good Bond. Any recommendations for exercises to correct asymmetry in the body?
Ooh, well, funny you should say that, because although we can't give too much away, we have just recorded a bit of a video which will be released next Wednesday.
Yes, it will be. This
released Wednesday, and we've done a few measurements for that, and I have slight asymmetry in my arms.
Yeah.
So I've got one arm that's half an inch bigger than the other. Can you tell which one?
I think everybody's got certain sizes. Sometimes it's more recognisable. I remember when I was younger, my traps, I had one trap that was noted, but at least twice the size of the other, right, when they were up. And I put it down to, I used to play a lot of rugby, and it was the shoulder, it was my left trap actually, it was the shoulder I liked to hit with, and I don't know, I didn't really think it through. I thought, oh, it's just the shoulder I hit with. And it was really noticeable, when I used to flex, it was way up here, and that one was like, kind of like Steven's trap. And yeah. But then it took me a long time to realise what it was, and it was my paper round bag was there, my school bag came across there, so it was constantly putting a lot of pressure on that particular trapezius. So ultimately, quick fix was put the bag on their shoulder and obviously just keep going with exercise, and they eventually balanced out.
Do you know, it's funny, obviously Rab noticed it through his traps because they're quite big, like little mountains on his shoulders. I don't have sort of big traps, but actually had the exact same thing. But I noticed it with my nipples. So I got one nipple that's slightly, or did have one nipple that's slightly higher than the other. And again, it's from paper round, because you've got this huge heavy bag with all these newspapers in it, and it kind of pulls you to one side, so you can feel a bit lopsided. So to answer your question, that's a very long introduction to answer your question. Sorry about that. Is try to use exercises where your body has to work independently, so each side has to work independently. So use dumbbells rather than a bar, so that one side can't take over. Cable machines are good for that as well.
Yeah. I've had a good question. Nicholas Ojeda, I'm guessing the pronunciation, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I know this is a personal question. I see the dark haired one, that would be me, Rab. Has a wedding band and plays with a little girl in videos. Is that your daughter? Yes, that's my daughter. She's also my boss. Stephen, do you have children as well?
I do. I have. I've actually got 2 boys and a girl. 2 boys with my wife and a girl from a previous encounter.
Now we had another good question here. Whiskey recommendations, not too peaty.
Oh well,
that's from Decoric.
This is a new one for us. The Balvenie Caribbean cask, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice. Smooth. I mean, we're not going crazy tonight, or as crazy. Yeah. So we wanted just a nice whiskey that we can enjoy. Because again, when the whiskey's done, we're gone. Sadly.
Just like this, when you open the bottle, you can just smell it.
So yeah, it's a nice smooth one.
Yeah. So it depends on what you're looking for. There's so many. Our favourite generally is the Glenlivet, and the more expensive you go, the older it is, the smoother it's going to be.
Because I've still got my bottle of 18-year-old, and I've got the 21-year-old. Oof. Yeah. We're saving that for a special occasion, aren't we? Yeah. Keep that going.
Maybe the end of the other coaching group.
Oh, and Sawyer's. I'm on the beer.
Hey.
Firsty ferret.
Are you a firsty ferret?
Yeah. Rob K. I am lazy and skinny. I just have you to make me smile. No worries, Rob. No worries, buddy.
There was a question up here from Susan I want to try and find.
These comments, they fly up the page, but we really do our best to try and stay on top of them.
They do disappear very, very quickly, but we can scroll.
Fred Atkinson, what's your choice for body hair, shave or trim? Well, once upon a time, Fred, I used to trim, stroke, shave. Nah, I was more trim. And then I got hounded by the subscribers. They said, no more shaving. So now I've got this little thing on my belly, which I like to know. It's Quincy. It's Quincy.
It's like a woolly jumper.
It really is, actually.
So there's Gina Torres. Hi, Gina. Hello, gentlemen. What non-touristy places would you all recommend for a visit?
Ooh, in Scotland?
In Scotland, if you are, depends what you're looking for. If it's more sort of cultural stuff, to be honest, just going into the big city, we do have a huge tourist industry, but unless you're on sort of Buchanan Street in Glasgow or Princess Street in Edinburgh, you don't really come across a huge influx of tourists. I'm a big fan of going up the Glens, so there's a wee place called Glen Cove, which you've probably heard of. There is the place I used to go rock climbing, I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, any of the Glens, I'm not going to try and think of all the different ones. The further north you go, the more rural you get. You know, you can travel for miles and not see a house. So if you're looking to escape, then get into the Highlands.
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of wee hidden gems you can find that not too touristy, but generally if you came over, speaking to people and finding out their little go-tos, you know.
And of course come to Perth,
yes,
and have a coffee with your coaches.
Yeah. And there was a good question here. Decompose said, I exercise, would like more but not finding time due to work and other things. Sometimes I'm too tired, what to do? Energy levels are difficult. My first go-to is realising when your ideal training time is. My worst is actually in the evening. So the biggest mistake I can make is to say in my head, right, I'm going to get up, do this, that, next thing, go to work and I'll train tonight. Because sure as fate, it'll hit 5 o'clock, I'll be knackered, and I'll either have a crap session or I'll just not train at all. I'll just say, tomorrow. So for me, I'm either first thing in the morning or lunchtimes I'm actually at my best as well. So it's about factoring into your daily routine. Find out when you would like, when your body's best, get it done, get out of the way. Another good thing for energy, you're a big one on the...
Yeah, see, I like, there's actually a DNA test that you can get done to see when you are better to exercise. Now, for me, I say what works in with your schedule, what will give you the best sort of time, when's your energy the highest so that you can get more of your workout. If you've got the luxury of choosing your time, then experiment. Just try it first thing in the morning, try it in the afternoon, try it in the evening, just see how you feel in each of them. Again, I'm not a massive fan of doing it in the evening. I'm just going to walk out a chill out time.
That's what Decompose is saying, he trains at 9 PM and he's obviously feeling quite tired at that time of night.
To me, if I train at 9 PM, I usually go to bed at 9:30 at the latest. So for me to train sort of later on, you're kind of going to bed and your sort of heart's racing, you're pumped up. You want to be, I always say, you're maximising. Your body's very adapts to stress plus recovery. So throughout the day, your cortisol levels will sort of come up in the morning, kind of slowly dip down, come back up again, depending on what you've got going on during your day. Training itself is a stress to the body. So straight away, like you want to go into a training session, maybe have a coffee just before to really sort of stimulate your central nervous system so you feel like fully energetic. Do your workout, but then the minute that your workout is finished, you want to be maximising your recovery mode. So that's kind of get some protein in, maybe have some carbs, you might want to get some extra magnesium, but you totally want to be chilling out, sort of dim the lights, and ideally just chilling out, whether it's first thing in the morning so you can just chill out for the rest of the day and just kind of steady your energy levels, or if it is in the evening, you want to try to get to bed and just chill out. To me, I just can't do that in the evening, so have a look to see yourself and see when you can train. If it's maybe you're training at 9 o'clock because that's the only time you've got, and if that's the case, then it's don't bother worrying about it.
Big wave to Lindsay. She's heading off to the dentist.
Oh.
She's obviously been on the call and then scarpered. Now I had the question further up, let me just find it, to do with coffee. Just when you're mentioning coffee, this is a good one. Bobby Graham asked, Rab, others, including myself, have asked how much coffee is too much. Any response? I like to stick to a rule, maximum 2 cups a day for me. Now that's just because there was a time I travelled through to Edinburgh, I had a meeting with a mate, and we went to like the local Starbucks. I got one of those massive, just like a bowl of coffee basically. Now I didn't realise he'd asked for double shots. Now I think a normal bowl is the equivalent of, I don't know, 2 cups of coffee straight. I don't know what it is. So this was equivalent of 4, and I had 2 of them. So I had the equivalent of 8 cups of coffee. And I will never forget coming back on the train to Perth. I was like having withdrawal symptoms. The light was shining from the window. I was kind of just curling up in a ball. There was a guy. He was just being friendly to these group of girls, but his voice was irritating me, you know. And that way back, it was not a fun journey. I had to go home, had to have a quick nap, and then when I came out of my nap, I was no longer the bad news bear. And that's when I realised, yeah, I didn't want to take too much of that. So coffee first thing in the morning for me, and then maybe one again mid-morning, but certainly I have a rule no after 4 p.m. because otherwise it affects my sleep.
Caffeine generally stays in your system for about 7 hours, so kind of just time your coffee. For me, coffee is a stimulant, so I see it the same way as I see paracetamol or painkiller. So if you've got a sore head, or if you've got a sore arm, whatever, you take a painkiller for it, it numbs the pain. So say for instance it was a sore head, you've got a sore head, you take some paracetamol and the sore head goes away, then you can carry on your day as normal. But my argument to that is, you've got a sore head for a reason. Now you might be dehydrated, you might have kind of shaken your head too much, you might have, whatever reason it is, the sore head is there for a reason. It's to tell you not to go shaking your head, don't do anything crazy, maybe sort of dim the lights, go and lie in a dark room, have some more water, you know, just chill out a little bit, and your actions would then be appropriate to the sore head. If you take a paracetamol, you can numb all that and carry on regardless, and then you can end up doing more damage. I see coffee in the same light. So coffee stimulates the central nervous system. Now, what we were talking before about these highs and lows with your cortisol level, when you are overly tired, maybe you've overworked in your career, maybe your family life is too much. There's lots of different reasons as to why you might be tired. Now, if you just have coffee to mask that tiredness, if you just have coffee to mask the tiredness, your body is never really going to fully recover. So you can then mask it and mask it and mask it again, and you're actually just compounding the problem. The best thing you can do is not have any coffee, and people say, oh, but I'm so tired when I don't have coffee, I need my coffee to get through my day. My argument is, your body is telling you to chill out and have more sleep, and maybe kind of cut back on the workload a bit, and kind of just balance your life out a bit more. So coffee is there, yeah, it can be helpful to get a bit of a stimulant, but be very conscious of your recovery, and are you sleeping properly, and how does your whole life look.
Sorry, just Joseph gave us a donation, $25. So now, Joseph, I don't know if you could read that from there. It says, Joseph Suarez is awesome. That is all.
And if you donate again, we'll add a fucking to that. Joseph Suarez is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Now, Joseph actually asked a really good question in terms of tourism, because we're trying to promote Scotland at the same. He asked, what do we think of the Enchanted Forest?
The Enchanted Forest?
Enchanted Forest.
I really like it.
Yeah. It's funny because they sometimes change location of it. I mean, when I say change location, you're talking difference of 5 miles. Because apparently one year it was at the Hermitage. Now, if you've seen a few of our videos, yeah, we like to go up the Hermitage. Yeah, really, they like to go up there. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, the Enchanted Forest is great. You know, if you get a good night, as long as it's not raining, you're fine. But they really light the forest up. There's lots of people dressed up in costume and character. Yeah. It's great for the family.
Do you know what? The best thing to say is, it's enchanting. It really is enchanting. You go in, you're like, oh wow, that's really nice. And they've got like sort of music playing in certain areas, and it looks really good. It really does. They do it well.
William Clark's asked, what do you all think of weed? You know, cannabis, I've kind of looked into it lately. It's not something I ever do. I'm asthmatic, so I can't smoke, and never have smoked. But the medicinal benefits of cannabis is incredible, and especially Jesse Ventura is a big, you know, the former governor of Minnesota. Some of his stuff's really interesting, what he talks about. And one of the points he made when because he's big on arguing against the big corporate pharmaceutical giants, you know. And his argument was simply this, you know, with all these painkillers they prescribe for cancer treatments, etc., etc. He said they're all for banning cannabis, but at the end of the day, God made cannabis.
Yeah.
You know, it grows in the ground. You know, it's like, yet they ban it. You know, when he made that argument, I thought, well, fair play to it. It's not something I take. It's not something I can take, just because again I can't smoke it.
Yeah.
not something at this point in my life I need, but maybe later in life I will need that.
Yeah, if the situation calls for it, I have nothing against. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a plant. If we're willing to drink whiskey, which is awesome, but you know, the fact that you can sell drugs, these big pharmaceutical companies, and make a hell of a lot of money from it, something they've manufactured, yet they can ban a plant that grows in the ground, is just a little bit wrong, in my opinion. I don't smoke weed personally, but I think it's. I mean, it's actually there's a bit of a theory that they reckon that the human race evolved because of psychedelics. Now, I don't know if weed comes into that category, but they believe that the chimps came out of the woods because they're quite successful
plants, weren't they?
Yeah, and because they came into the grasslands rather than the trees, there was other plants available to them, so they started having these psychedelics, which then increased the sort of brain functions, and then they began to problem solve and learning to do different tasks. And they believe that's the start of the evolution of the human race. So I don't know if weed comes into that category, but there's a random fact for you.
Now, Anne donated $5. Thank you so much,
hey,
Anne.
Anne, you're a star.
As always, yep.
Now, we've already got Anne on the map, though, haven't we?
Yeah.
And Devon.
We'll just put a wee kiss there, Anne.
Oh, there you go, Anne. You get a kiss. You get a kiss.
Shrooms would be okay too, David LP. Yeah, a funny story about shrooms. Have you ever done shrooms? Oh man, I was in Canada, right, and I must have been 19, I think, and my cousins, they got mushrooms. At the time, I was quite a big chunky lad, played rugby and whatever, and
used to be.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot more body fat on me then, right? And basically what happened was they got some mushrooms and they've all dried out, whatever, right? Anyway, they're like, and they called me Rob. I was like, it's Rab, it's fucking Rab. Anyway, gave me the shrooms, but of course back then I was like, oh, blasé. I was like, how much are you taking? They were like, oh, how? I was like, oh, pinch or whatever it was. I was like, I'll take twice as much. Anyway, we went to play pool in this pool hall. And back then I was a bit of a shark. Played like Paul fucking Newman, by the way. But
I totally know who he is.
That's the line out of fucking Train Spotting.
Is it?
Begbie says, I was playing like Paul fucking Newman, by the way. You know what I mean? Anyway, Paul Newman's in The Colour of Money, which is a pool hustler movie. Anyway, getting off track here. So I'm playing pool, and I was playing not too bad. It was I guess you guys would just call it pool, but we call it American pool because the stripy balls. Our other tables are different. And I was doing all this potting, and eventually my cousins tried to take the stick off me. I was like, what are you doing? He says, you potted our ball. I was like, no, I didn't. And they're like, no, you didn't. And I looked at the table, and all the balls were changing colours. I was like, oh shit. And then I'll never forget, back then you couldn't get, over here we get this sweetie called fruit gums. And I used to take boxes over for my cousins because at that time you couldn't get it over there, or if you could, it was very expensive. So I remember getting in a taxi and there was a group of us and I was trying to pay the taxi driver in gums. Had them in my hand. I was like, they're all the way from Scotland. The guy was like, what? It was never again. Nobody told me that you get insomnia with them either, and that was what put me right off because I couldn't sleep. Every time I shut my eyes, I had 1,000 thoughts at once. I was like, and then there was getting tired, dropping off. Like, so I was like, no, not for me. So that's my shroom story. What's LSD's got harmful content, friend. Max Ryan, hi, you two are awesome. I'm coming to Scotland in September for the first time. So Max, if you're anywhere near Perth, give us a shout. We'll meet you for a coffee.
Yeah.
Rab, you often quote films. What's your favourite? Carl, that's a bloody tough one. I like the question.
What is your favourite film?
It depends on my mood. It really does. Like, I've got a whole list of movies. Do you know what I appreciate?
Right, you're on a desert island. All you've got is a plug socket, a TV, a DVD player, and you can choose one DVD.
Oh man, could I choose an anthology then?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of what movie I've probably watched the most. Actually, there's I can't answer it. That's it. I'm going to have
You have to.
No,
you owe it to our audience.
I know, but I can't think of one movie. I love Fight Club. Right, let's roll with Fight Club then.
Fight Club. It's funny. There's who was it saying? It was
Goonies is awesome too.
A comedian was saying, he's like, isn't it funny when you give somebody like a scenario, like you're on a desert island, you've got one DVD, and they're like, oh no, I just can't choose. It's like, I'm not actually going to put you on a desert island, mate. It's okay, you can change later on.
Sinash is asking, is using personal training or hiring personal trainers as very popular over there as it is here in NYC? Well, we both have personal training businesses.
Yep.
It depends, it varies. In the cities, yes, it's very, very popular. Perth is quite an affluent area, so we're quite lucky here. People have extra income that they can spend on personal training. And I think in general nowadays, people are realising the value of a good quality session, and therefore if they can't do it by themselves, they will pay money, much like they would pay money to go and get their nails done, their hairs done, whatever they're doing, you know.
It's also a bit of education as well, so you got a lot of people who go to the gym, for instance, and they'll pay, you know, £50 or £100 a month to go to the gym, and they'll do it for a full year, plus they'll spend extra amount of money on supplements and new clothing and the latest trend of cookbook, you know, all these different things, and they'll spend, and they'll subscribe to weight loss clubs and all, and sometimes they'll spend, like I've had clients who come to me and say they've been doing it for 5 years, and they put a price tag on what they've actually spent over the 5 years, and it was astronomical. It was unbelievable. And then all of a sudden the fees for personal training are like actually nothing compared to that, because one, you're going to get the results. So would you rather pay £1,000 and you get a whole year's worth of gym, which sounds amazing, right? You pay £1,000 and you get a whole year's worth of gym membership, and you get some supplements and this, that and the other. You think, okay, that's good value. Or would you rather pay £1,000 for 3 months with a personal trainer and there's no supplements included? Like, oh no, I'll take the gym membership. But if the 3 months with the personal trainer is going to get you results, because you've got the expert advice, then would you rather get results in 3 months or no results over 12 months? And that's the question you should ask. And so people are starting to understand that a little bit more, and actually realising it's a bit of a false economy when you're going for the sort of long-winded approach.
Yep. Joseph's saying, I've been in and out of the room, what have I missed? You might have missed us talking about Enchanted Forest, and Joseph, you may have missed your name's now on top. But our question to you, Joe, is why did you leave the room?
Yeah, where the hell did you go?
Yeah, it's just... It is coming out from Stephen King. I really want to see that. Joker. Oh yeah, I really want to see that. I mean, the original.
Joe, it's funny. It used to be one of those movies that I used to be scared. Like, I remember watching it as a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary.
Yeah.
Does it float?
Everything floats down here. And you'll float too.
Yeah. Anyway, it used to be really scary, and I wanted to watch it again because I want a scary movie. Oh, It. The last time I watched that, it scared the hell out of me. So let's put that on. And it was funny, and I was really upset. I was kind of like, oh man, Pennywise the Clown was actually a funny guy.
Yeah. Well, the new one I think is going to be pretty.
It was quite scary. It does.
Do you know what a lot of people forget though? Like it was Stephen King. Now another favourite movie of mine is The Shawshank Redemption, and people don't realise that's a short story by Stephen King. It was Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption. He says it in the end credits, and then I went and looked up. I was like, holy shit. So he's done some incredible stuff. But the thing is, you've got to watch for these writers as well, is because some of them have their main sort of writing name, and then they also have alias names as well that allows them to write a completely different genre without damaging
their reputation.
It'd be equivalent of me and him putting on disguises and have another YouTube channel where
we call it Yanis or something.
Yeah, like Yanis Body Transformation. And act all proper. Bobby Graham saying, stop, Pennywise scares the hell out of me. Yeah, he was pretty
Bobby, funny. Is your refrigerator running? It is. Well, you better catch it before it runs away.
Yeah. Alberto, hey friends, do you have a workout for strong R's? I would like to tone my arms a bit more. Cheers from Costa Rica.
In what context do you want them to be strong? A lot of people go into I want strong arms, I want big biceps.
Is that for function? As in, do you need to lift heavy stuff, or are you looking for?
So I mean, you can do a lot of bicep. People go to bicep curls because they want big biceps, but actually, what you really want to look for is your big compound movement. So like bent over rows. You got pull downs, both reverse grip and overarm grip. You got pull ups, different grips. You could T-bar rows, anything that you basically get your back involved as well is going to build up your arms a lot more.
Timothy Gallagher, first time here, enjoyed your video. So welcome to the channel, Timothy.
Hi Timothy.
Tim, what else? Yep, Stephen King also did the Green Mile. That is an awesome. Was it Mr. Jingles?
Mr. Jingles, yeah.
Well, the reason I knew that was years ago when the Green Mile first came out. There used to be a newspaper, and the Sunday portion was like a Reader's Digest or something, and they actually gave away chapter by chapter of the Green Mile.
Really?
I remember that at the time because I was younger and it got delivered to my house, and I remember it was a chapter. They gave away the first each week they gave away maybe 1 or 2 chapters for the first, I don't know, 10, 15 chapters, and the idea was you then get hooked on the book and you wouldn't buy it. That's why I always knew it was Stephen King.
Very good.
And you always knew it was Stephen King book. It's like, you know, there's no way you're going to rip one of those things.
How far into the bottle are they, Colida? Well, we started this a couple of weeks ago, so you can't really got this much left.
No. We're not going wild tonight, so...
No, we're just having... I'm driving, so...
Yeah. I mean, we went crazy. I don't know if anyone missed it, but last week our record was $551, but we were on for hours at a time. So we're not trying to break any records tonight. No.
Stephen, are you a fan of rowing? Do you mean like a rowing machine? Or just kind of rowing exercises like a bent over row, T-bar row, that type of thing? Rowing in general, yeah, absolutely. Anything that gets the back working, gets shoulders back, is always good.
Carol's asking, how does the alcohol affect your training? Well, we don't have alcohol before we train, for a start. We believe in health and happiness, Carol, so we work hard all week, and then on the weekend or Thursday night, we like to enjoy a few drinks here and there, everything in moderation, unless we're celebrating, and then we kick the arse out of it.
It's one of those things, like, generally speaking, I don't drink alcohol. Like, I can sit comfortably. Like, if someone said, you know, do you drink? Well, not really, because day to day I don't. Like, on a week to week, in any given week, I was like, I just don't drink. However, if the mood takes me, I'm like, yeah, I'll have one. If the mood takes me to have a pizza or some ice cream or a donut, then I'll have it. But generally speaking, I don't have these things, and that's the way about it.
Yeah. Daniel Barclay's asked, do you support St Johnstone? I mean, they're literally, St Johnstone Stadium is 2 minutes from your house and 4 minutes from mine.
Yeah.
There's another donation.
Who's that?
Rob Sutherland. So Rob, can you? I don't think you've donated before, Rob. Can you tell us where you're from so we can add you to the map?
Rob, what city are you from?
Can we buy the cutting board that you're using? It's not a cutting board. It's a whiskey pattern, my boy.
I can't see why not. We could potentially get one for $1 million. No.
What did the second one now? Is $100 billion. Yeah. He's from Philadelphia, lol, Kathy. Yeah, so we're waiting to find out where Rob's from. I don't think Rob Sutherland's coming. Michigan. Right, Michigan. Throw us a bone, Rob. Where are we? Michigan. Shit, where's that going to be? Somebody help us. And Mark Winters, thank you very much for your donation, Mark. Can you also tell us where you're from?
Right, now we're going to do our whole...
yeah, we suck at this.
Look how awesome our backs are.
Yeah. So you need to tell us where Michigan is, and then Mark Winters, you need to tell us where you're from as well, so we can add you to board. Joseph saying east of Illinois. Where's Illinois?
Joseph, I'm really sorry we didn't print out your map. You need to help us out here.
A mitten-shaped state.
What? A mitten-shaped state? Tell us, are we talking left, centre or right?
Yeah, tell us left, centre, right. Great Lakes. So that the lakes are
Great Lakes
are
here.
Yeah, it's near
Chicago. Michigan, look.
Hey, we found it. Thank you.
Got it.
Happy days. Now we need Mark Winters as well.
Where's Mark Winters? Where are you from, buddy?
He hasn't commented yet. I don't think he's just. Mark went Hawaii. Hello, Hawaii. Hey. That's down here, right? Now there's Florida, Miami. It must be down this way.
Hawaii's like way over here.
I knew that.
Way!
Yes, I got one in Hawaii. Happy days.
I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else from Hawaii?
Hawaii. JB Hollis. Thank you for the donation. Where are you from?
JB Hollis. I see he donated before. I recognise that name. JB, have you donated before, buddy?
We were pretty smashed if he was.
Steroids like testosterone.
Depends if you need it. Depends what you're doing. A lot of these.
Yeah, your own stage in life.
You know, I've got a lot of friends that are bodybuilders, and there's some that compete, and there's some that don't. So, if you compete and you're going up against guys that are competing, then it makes sense, right? You've got a level playing field. If you're just taking them for the sake of taking them, well, you've got to think about the damage to your body then, you know.
Jeff is asking if we drink bourbon at all. Nah.
No.
I drink a Jack Daniels now and again.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
When I say now and again, I like probably once a year when my cousin brings it to me. My cousin Kev, if he's ever watching this, he brought me Jack Daniels honey, and it was actually really nice.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it. Yeah.
The thing is, right, if I don't mind Jack Daniels because you have it with Coke kind of thing, you know. But
yeah. What video has the most nudity?
Do you like Guinness beer? Diaz Simon. Yes, I actually do. I really like.
Guinness is awesome.
I actually look forward to St Patrick's Day because I remember there was one year, they do this every, or they certainly do it most years. Basically, if you're at the bar, if you bought 4 Guinnesses, you get like a token thing. If you bought 8 Guinnesses, you get a hat. You know, you progressively worked your way up. I remember me and my mate Mo were just absolutely spangled. I think we've had like, I don't know, 12 or 16 Guinnesses. And let's just say your poop was black for days.
It's funny, my friend Mark, he got married, and Mark's a volleyball player, so he plays volleyball in France. So we went to his wedding, and of course volleyball players are all like huge, right? So they're all like, I'm 6 foot and I'm like looking up, and we're on the Guinness. And the plan was to meet up and,
thanks Jerry, tell us where you're from Jerry, thank you for the information. Ohio!
Ohio?
You tell your story, I'll find Ohio. Look, I might be here a while, I think. We've had a while before.
Here it is.
Ohio. Yeah!
Ohio, there we go.
Boom!
So I was at my friend Mark's wedding, and the plan was to meet up. We were going to have a couple of whiskies. They were going to go off and get married by themselves with a few witnesses, and we'd go back to the hotel, get showered, changed, and we'd all meet up later on and have dinner and a few more drinks later on. Anyway, met up with these volleyball players, and they were having a few Guinnesses. I got the Guinness, and it just went on and on and on. And we got on like a house fire, like a great bunch of guys, and I ended up just drinking all day, but it's Guinness all day. And my friend Mark, I grew up with him, and I hadn't seen his mum and dad for, Christ, a long time, like 15 years. So I was like so looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah.
But at the time I seen them, I was smashed. I was just like, Jesus. And I think I made a bit of an arse of myself. So.
Oh well. Ron Grant from Atlanta, close to Atlanta, Gainesville. I think we've had Gainesville once before. That'd be awesome. I'm sure we did, because I remember thinking Gainesville, like that's the place to be if you're a trainer, right? Personal trainer from Gainesville, he'll give you the pay. Now, further up, somebody asked what to do if somebody dates from Arkansas. If you donate from Arkansas, Stephen's going to tell you the way that he described it. Wine or beer, which one to choose? Ooh, I'm assuming we're choosing for you.
White or red?
Now he works till 9, so... Oh, Gina and Nicholas. So Nicholas
Ojeda.
Thank you, Nicholas. You got
Nicholas, you're awesome. Gina, you're awesome too.
Gina, I'm sure you've donated before next to California. If not, we'll put you on a red, because we're red pen tonight.
We're
right?
red pen tonight.
So California's over this way. Yeah, let's bang in there.
Here we are.
There was no answer. No, decompose. We're trying to do a beer. Are you working till 9 PM? Decompose 3. I think he said he works till 9 PM. Wine or beer?
Wine or beer? It depends what type of mood. Like I really enjoy a couple of glasses of red.
Thank you, Bobby Graham.
Bobby Graham.
You do like the red, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I can drink white, but I wouldn't say I enjoy it.
Right.
Like to me, like alcohol is a bit of a toxin. So if you're gonna have a drink, you may as well enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't really enjoy white. But if you're at like a wedding or something like that, then that's fine. I'll have some, and it's okay. But if you really want to enjoy it, I'd much prefer a glass of red.
Well done, Bobby. You no, tricky. Dear. Single malt or blended? Single malt, Carl.
Single malt, always.
Somebody actually wrote further up about, they're talking about Jack Daniels on the rocks, but Jack Daniels is a blend, right?
That's a bourbon, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm not too sure what's class. It is a bourbon, but yeah, with Coke.
Yeah. I'll have it with Coke just because I'd rather have a single malt on the rocks. Anything else is just sacrilege, right?
You guys need to go to bed.
No, not working till 9 PM, working till 5 or 6 PM. I have to go home, take a shower, pack myself, eat and go to the gym. And you're going to go to the gym, well, if you're going to go to the gym, just have one beer before you go, or because one glass of wine might be too much, right?
Yeah.
Other than personal training, fitness, health, what is one thing you do a great job teaching? At the moment, our puppies. Yeah.
No, I told them last weekend.
Yeah.
See, I've always had an ambition to be a policeman. The police officer, should I say, not policeman. That's not PC anymore, is it? No. To be a police officer, I think I'd be really good at it. So I'd be teaching the law.
I am the law. I'd probably be your arch enemy. I'd be the criminal. You'd be kind of hunting me down.
Joe Tilly is at home. She's yeah, hopefully sleeping right now.
I doubt it. Penis, 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 penis. Just write it.
Who's saying that? That sounds like a silly gay boy saying that. And just in case anybody's watching this back, his username is silly gay boy. I'm not being funny here.
Rabin handcuffs. What do you think of the new plans for Town Hall in Perth? They need to do something with it if you know anything about it. It's kind of been sitting there dormant for so long. I'm not even sure what the official plans are going to be. Poor puppy always looking up your kilts. Lol. Trying to bite up our kilts as well. Yeah. Can you kiss each other? Nah. His beard is too bushy.
You like a bush?
Okay. Joker saying, "Oh, silly gay boy tricks aren't for kids."
Do you know Howie from 21st Century Kilts? No, we do not. We know of him, but we don't know him.
Buenos Aires, Argentina. Soon visiting Scotland. I'll invite Andre Fernandez. Cool name.
So we've got a golden rule at the moment. We're going to probably kick ourselves for saying this.
Yeah.
But if anybody's ever come to Scotland and you're coming to Perth, then hook us up and we will grab a coffee.
As long as you buy them.
As long as you're buying.
Yeah. Now we've got Edmonton, Canada from
Brian.
Oh
man, I'd love to go back to Canada.
Right, let's get you into Edmonton. Totally should know who that is. Yeah, we probably should.
Edmonton.
I just found a place called Labrador in Canada.
That's where they're from. That's where they originate.
No way!
Yeah.
Really?
That's in the book that I was trying to give you, and you said no, you didn't want it.
Fair. Right, okay. Picked Heineken. Good for you, Dean.
Hang on. What's this?
You guys are really sure. What's one thing you've done together that would surprise us? What have we done together that we've got ourselves into some funny
We've
state?
done a hell of a lot. We've shared a hell of a lot.
Do you remember when we worked that one out?
Yeah, that's a story for
a late night show.
For a late night show. So Brian, who's from Edmonton, he's asking, want to start weight training 4 times per week. How much cardio is too much in your opinion? Again, it depends on the rest of your training regime and your diet. Ideally, it's too much if you're starting to lose muscle mass, but how do you tell that? Or are you training for something in particular? Is it just a case of you want to be in better shape? If you're in better shape, then we're big proponents, is that the right word? Of more weight training because it's more sustainable. And the idea of getting the best shape possible, one of the main criteria is it has to be progressive. In order for cardio to be progressive, you have to constantly run further or run faster. If it's running you're doing, if it's swimming, whatever, it has to be longer or faster, or uphill, downhill, that type of thing. And it's hard to continuously change for the rest of your life. That's why people who just run and nothing else end up getting amazing results in the beginning stages, but then they hit this plateau that they just can't get over. So with weight training, there's so many different variables that you can constantly change and constantly challenge yourself. So really, cardio should be used as an added extra. Okay, so once you've kind of got your weight training done, you should be looking at maybe 2 to 3 times per week, I would say.
I mean, he's doing 4 to 5 hours through the week. It depends how many times you're doing the or is that 4 5-mile runs through the week? Or
4 to 5 mile runs through the week. Want to start weight training? I would say start weight training now, and then start to cut back your cardio so that you're doing more weight training. Is honest advice.
Big thank you to Greg Carpenter. He is in Seattle, home of the Seahawks. Oh. We've had that before. Seattle is around here somewhere. Hold on. Wait. Kentucky, Arkansas. Christ help. Seattle's definitely East Coast. Oh, is it not?
Seattle's in the...
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's West Coast. Boom! Another one in Seattle. It's going to be one of our touring places. Best swimming experience, Colton C. I'm not a strong swimmer at all.
So, best swimming experience. On holiday, we were on this one of these kind of boat cruises. It was like a boat trip, and they were throwing bottles of champagne into the sea. And obviously they're sinking now, but they had like a wee cove that they went into, throwing bottles of champagne. And the idea was if you could swim down to the bottom and get it, so it's not that deep, but deep enough. Then the champagne is yours. So obviously just challenge people diving off the boat into the sea, swimming all the way down. Anyway, there must have been the sea must have been slightly high. Nobody could get the champagne apart from Mr. Stevie Boy.
Hey!
So, my mum and dad, I was young at the time, I think I was maybe 15 or 16. My mum and dad were like, happy days, I was coming with the champagne, there's another one, there's another one. And that's my best swimming experience.
Rexor's asking for ectomorph advice, please. Is that ectomorph to gain weight? You're looking to build muscle? If so, you want to lift heavy, eat plenty of calories.
Yeah, eat a lot.
And lots of rest in between sessions. That's the way to try and counter more.
Muscle. So if you want to gain muscle, basically you're the same as me. I'm a cross between an ectomorph and a mesomorph. So it's quite difficult to keep muscle. As soon as you start doing any sort of cardio, it just comes off. So it's a case of maintain heavy weight training and a lot of calories. Just keep eating and get the protein in.
Always the protein. Oh, we're almost out of whiskey, my man.
Dear Simon saying, do you like Scottish legends? We are the Scottish legends.
Yeah. Can we see a Scottish shower video from you guys in the future? Actually, we've got exactly that coming tomorrow, Augustine Cruz.
You're
tomorrow,
gonna love tomorrow's video.
Yeah, boom. We've served it just for you, Augustine. Yeah.
Augustine Cruz.
Do you sell merchandise to Canada? Yes, we do. You probably, I think either site would send, I would imagine, but probably best the US site for that.
Site for that one. Greg Carpenter. Wow, 33,350 subscribers. Exactly, because
we're working towards our silver play button, so we need 100,000.
Yeah, so YouTube do this thing when you get to certain targets, they send you this sort of plaque. If you get 100,000 subscribers, they send you a silver play button that you can put on your wall. So we really want the silver play button. And
it's just a trophy.
Today we crossed the 33,333, which is exactly a third of the way there.
So like, right, we're going to have to start the countdown.
Oh shit, yeah, 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, oh my God, is it Friday yet? Frank, it's almost Friday, we've got a special one for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Carol's saying I've dropped 170, holy shit Carol, well done sir. I've dropped 100 from 107k to 98.7 with your help, thank you, and good night from Shropshire.
Hey.
Good for you, Carol. Just keep going with that, just keep
Carol,
chipping away.
It's funny, Carl, somebody mentioned last week
how we say it.
A Scottish person can't say Carl without it sounding like Carol.
Yeah.
So Carl. Did we put Bobby Graham on the map?
Pretty sure. Where was Bobby Graham from?
Where was Bobby Graham
from?
I think we did as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we did.
I'm
sure we did. What time is your shower show? Not a show, it's just an episode, but in later tomorrow you can catch it anytime you like. Let's just say something there. So Gina's saying, I'll tweet you my questions you didn't see. But you know, it's funny, you see the movie Moana. And Maui, he's like, he grabs the bird and he's inscribing on the rock, he says, when you ride with a bird, it's called tweeting. And I was like, man, that's cool.
That's funny.
And I'm going to start singing that. Yes, it's okay, you're welcome.
Right, we are... Bobby Graham, Largo, Florida. No, we didn't put him on the map. Bobby Graham.
Sorry, Bobby.
Put him on twice.
I'm going to put him on twice. Do you know what? You're getting marked out, Bobby. Bobby Graham. Was that a Y?
It was a Y, yep.
There you are, Bobby. Slap bang in the middle. We're just vandalising this man.
And Bobby, just before we go, did you know that certain things in Scotland are referred to as Yer Bobby?
Yeah.
I'll leave that one with you.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Tommy Armstrong from Ballground, Georgia, right outside Atlanta.
Right, Atlanta was there. Is it actually marked on the map?
No, we said just outside Atlanta. We'll put it there.
There we are.
Happy days. Thank you very much, Tommy.
Armstrong. That's actually a new name. I don't think I've seen Tommy's name before. Tommy Armstrong.
No.
Thank you very much.
No, wasn't Tommy new to it today? I'm sure. I think so. Joe's going to bring us a better match. By the time you get here, Joe, ours is going to be in tatters anyway, so you're probably doing us a favour. Anne again, Anne, you're just lovely. Thank you, Anne. Thank you.
I feel like we should give Anne a fist pump.
I walk a lot, but I'm thinking I'm walking too much. You can never walk too
Nah,
much.
you can't walk too much. We are meant to walk. We're just designed that way, so you can never walk too much.
Right,
we're going to shoot because we've got people waiting for us on the next call.
So this episode, if you've missed any of the start of the episode, you can go back and watch it because it'll be uploading straight away. Yeah. So thank you so much, and the donations again, amazing. This map is getting called in. So we're loving it. We're definitely going on the East Coast. We're going to be. We're just going to tour the whole place, right? Anyway, thank you very much, guys. We're going to be in touch.
See you soon.